Well, today Mercedes R129, I'm doing the windshield wiper so I can get to the heater blower motor, because when I unplugged the climate control unit in the dashboard, all I did was unplug it. When I plugged it back in, I now have no heater blower motor. Don't know why, can't figure it out any other way, so I'm going to have to get to the blower motor, which means removing the windshield wiper. First thing I did was take off the rubber trim strip on the front of the cowling at the base of the windshield, and then I'm going to remove the two side vent screens. Put the windshield wiper in the straight up and down position. I pulled the cap off the center arm just for the heck of it, just because I'm going to lube in here when I'm going to lube inside there when I'm done. But you don't have to pull that off for now. But anyway, there's 3 Phillips head screws, 1, 2, and 3. Those come out. The third one is under this little screen here. You might have to pull up, and it's like a little surface port you kind of have to push in. But if you can lift up on the screen, see where it pops together there? You can lift up on this and get around in and see in there. Use a magnetic pickup tool or a magnetic screwdriver so you don't lose the bolts, because they are going to pop around on you. And so the one side and the other side is going to be identical. There's 3 Phillips screws to remove that too. And once those are off, I'll be right back. I'll show you quickly on the driver's side, removing this the same thing. There's a little access kind of screw here. So here's a little tab at the bottom. You can push on that and pop the screen up, and then see down into, get that last Phillips screw out. And okay, so next you're going to remove the cabin air filter box. Pry the 3 clips on the front forward, and the 2 long Phillips screws in top of the box come out. And then if this is too hard to get out, you may have to take off this firewall support. I showed this in another video. There's 2 Phillips screws, one here and one at the other side. 2 tiny little ones that come through here, and then this whole front piece will come off. This black part will come forward, and you'll be able to access this better. I'm thinking I can just squeeze this sucker off like this, but if you can't, like I said, if you can't get to these clips and push them back down, and you may not be able to, you'll have to pull those 2 small Phillips screws out and remove just the back firewall support. You just have to kind of pull it over, and then you'll get to that, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, once you've removed the cabin air filter and the cabin air filter cover, you're going to remove, there's a plastic retainer screw here, 1 plastic retainer screw with the sleeve. That one, they're all Phillips headed. This one, and then there's 2 Phillips screws here and here. Pull those out both sides. There's 3 on each side, and then you're going to put the wiper arm back down so it's level. Just turn the wiper on, turn the car on, and then turn the car off when the wiper's down. And this trim piece that goes underneath the wiper cover, it kind of slides up and under. It'll roll up and under. That you just pry up from the bottom gently and slide it out. You'll have to wiggle it sideways and out. And now we can get to the wiper assembly. And I'll be back in 2 seconds. Sorry, I almost forgot a step on you. Once you've got those out, then you can pull the leaf basket here, the air intake. Slide the little breather for the temperature sensor. Slide this out of its little slot down here. It just slides sideways in. Just pull that out sideways, and then pull the tabs. You have to weasel this down under the windshield and back. And be very careful working around a windshield. Windshields are laminated glass, which means at the edge they're ridiculously fragile. I did have a problem once. I barely tapped with a tool, the edge of a Porsche windshield, and had to replace that whole windshield. Wasn't too happy about it. Don't touch the edge of the windshield with anything metal. If you can help it, don't touch it. Don't pry against it. Don't go near it. Trust me, you'll regret it. It's the weakest part of your windshield. The middle's very strong. The edges are where it's going to break. So don't touch the windshield with any tool, any metal tool. Okay, so we're going to get to the motor in 2 seconds. Okay, now you're going to remove the 3 10mm bolts holding it in, or nuts. There's one here. I'll go to the other side of the car, they're easier to see. So there's one on the driver's side of the wiper, depending what country you're in. One here, up underneath, and one down by the motor. Take those 3 off, and then there's going to be 2 8mm screws going through this plastic piece. Be very careful with those. This piece is very fragile on most Mercedes. They love to explode. I've never worked on an R129 before. Actually, I did a little bit, but I've never had a windshield wiper out of them, that's for sure. But all the E-Class and C-Class I worked on, they always love to break. So be very careful with this. Then you're going to take the 2 large washered Phillips head screws out of the top of the computer control compartment here. And just lift this up out of the way. I've pre-done a lot of this just to make sure it's not sitting forever watching me do this. And now the connector for the wiper is right here. And you can see that there's a plunger kind of thing on the right hand side. Push that in toward the left and pull the connection out. And that's your wiper connection. I'll be back with you in 2 seconds. Okay, now you're going to gently pry the 2 sides, this whole sleeve that holds the 2 connectors in. You're going to gently pry it apart and pull the wiper, the connection that goes to the wiper motor. You're just going to slip it out through the bottom. See there? And take the bracket off. Remember which way it goes. The 2 little ears face down. This part goes toward the white connector. Okay, now you're just going to carefully slide the 2, the in and the out power, basically, apart. They slide together. See those 2 little grooves along the side? There's a male side on this one and a female side on this one right there that slide together. And then you'll pop the grommet that goes through here and pull the whole thing out. And the whole assembly is going to lift out. So I'm just going to put this camera back and I'll show you. You can just lift the whole thing out at one shot. Be very careful when doing it though, obviously. Okay, and there's the entire assembly. And while it's out, we're going to lube it and play with it and make sure everything's all greased up and working nice. We'll pull the turtle cover off and grease that up too. But now we can get, obviously reverse is just opposite of installation. This is for the wiper. So I'll probably be doing a little bit more on how to get to the heater blower, which is where I'm headed to right now. But that's it for the wiper. Thanks.